Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this 2021 John Spence virtual open evening. Can I start by saying it's kind of with kind of sadness that we're virtual yet again this year, but we really didn't think it was the right thing to do to invite hundreds of people into an enclosed space as things stand. So we have gone virtual again this year. However, there is a much kind of greater opportunity for parents to visit the school both during the day and after school, and I'll touch on that in a little while. I know that some people are having kind of struggling logging on. If you are late, this is being recorded and it will be uploaded to the website a little bit later on. So how it's going to work tonight, this first initial phase is kind of the only traditional part of a normal open evening, which is the kind of the head teacher welcome, kind of setting a scene for the school and what we're all about. As part of that, I will be sharing a new 5-minute film with you, which will introduce you to some of the subject staff in school, just to give you a bit of a flavour. Now, we have trialled that a couple of times through Zoom, sharing it. And the first kind of couple of times it was a bit jumpy, but then it has seemed to smooth out. So fingers crossed that will run smoothly. But again, if there is an issue with that, you'll be able to find that on our website later. What we've also just released in the last 5 minutes onto the website are a further 5 or 6 films which expand on the information that you can find in our prospectus. For those of you in kind of our 5 local partner schools, you should have received a prospectus already. If you haven't got a prospectus and would like one, please just give the office a call or go online and everything's available on there. I would encourage you to look at our website as well to help you make a decision. Everything that you need to know about the school is on there, but that still will mean that you've got questions to ask, I don't doubt. So what we're going to use tonight on Zoom is the Q&A function. So just at the bottom of your screen, you've got a Q&A box there. If you just click on that, and if you've got any questions, if you just type a question into there, then my deputy head teacher, Leanne, will kind of collate all those questions, and then we'll pick anything up towards the end of the presentation. If you leave the presentation tonight and you haven't kind of asked something you desperately want to ask, you've got a number of alternatives. You can give us a call, you can drop us an email, all that information can be found on the website. But as I mentioned before, what I'd really recommend you do is book a school tour. They've been really, really popular so far. Certainly the after school sessions are virtually full. We'll add more if we need to, but there are spaces during our daytime sessions. And the idea of that is that you can come and see the school during the school day when the children are in classrooms. It's about a 45-minute tour with a senior member of staff. We'll kind of talk to you about the school, but obviously that gives you an opportunity to ask any questions. There's a maximum number of 4 families per tour, and there's kind of 3 members per family, just so you can come with, to get an idea of what the school is like. I really would recommend that you do that. So kind of onto the more traditional welcome now. You're in a really difficult position this year, I think, as parents probably of year 6 children. Some of you may have year 5, but if you're a parent of a year 6 child, you didn't get the opportunity to visit the school last year either. And your children normally would have plenty of opportunities, to experience transition events, whether that would be here or in a different secondary school, to get a feel of what secondary school is like. And obviously so much of that has stopped. But having said that, with the pupils that have been around with us on tours over the last couple of weeks, we have found that many of them have already been here, but then there are a large number that equally haven't. So you're kind of making a choice in many ways where you've not even entered the building. So that's why that tour is there for you, so you can get a real flavour, because it's a big choice that you're making. It's a big decision for both you and your child. So I'll just kind of start by using the 2 words I used with the students for my return to school assembly in September. And those 2 words, very simple: ambition and commitment. My ambition for every single child that comes to this school is that they leave us fit for life. And that fit for life ethos obviously started off many, many years ago when the school was awarded sports college status, but it does mean much, much more than that. And we've distilled it down into 3 key words of being skilled, being resilient, and being considerate. There's no rocket science in that. It's not like something that is radically different to many other schools, but what we do with those attributes is we weave them into everything that we do. So they're part of our reward system. So a student might get a rewards ticket saying resilient on, for example. They're part of our lesson day-to-day delivery, so that language is being used within lessons to kind of help children become resilient and make sure they are considerate in their lessons, as well as developing the skills. And also in the huge array of opportunities that we provide for students as well, which I'll touch on later to give you kind of a flavour of the different types of things we offer. One thing that I found quite interesting in some of the tours is there is still a perception of the school that we're here just for sport. We are here for much, much more than that, and hopefully by the end of this presentation you'll kind of get a flavour of everything that we do offer. So that's my ambition. It's very simple: every child leaving here at the age of 16 years old, ready for whatever their future holds for them, ready to being fit for life. The commitment side of it, that side of the assembly I gave to the students a couple of weeks ago, is my commitment of what we will do, what opportunities we will provide for all of the children to succeed and realise that ambition of being fit for life. So we do that in many different ways. First of all, our curriculum. We break down into three core areas. The first one is skills and knowledge, and that is by far the biggest. That's the core business of the school. That's the subjects the children learn from day one when they come in. We make sure in years 7, 8, and 9 that they have a very broad curriculum, that they study lots of different subjects. Obviously, English, maths, and science are the core subjects, but equally technology, history, geography, drama, art, the list goes on. They experience those subjects for 3 years, at which point we believe they're then in a position to start making a decision about their future and what they might want to do. And at that point, they choose their options, and we have kind of very detailed discussions about what they want to then go on to study for the final 2 years at John Spence. So that kind of core business is very much what we do, and it is broad and it is personalised as well. And the level of personalisation can be quite can be very personalised at times. So there is maybe some students who may struggle to access the full curriculum, and therefore we may provide some alternatives for them. But equally at the other end, where students really do thrive on academic subjects, we make sure that they can do the extra subjects, do the additional learning to really, really thrive and get the very, very best grades in a wide range of GCSEs for them. The key for me within that curriculum is ambition, and that every single member of my staff has ambitions to provide the very best quality of learning in the lessons, but has ambition for every single child, so every single child can achieve their best regardless of their starting point, regardless of their ability. And that's the question I ask every curriculum leader every time I meet. Tell me how your curriculum is ambitious and how you're challenging the children that are sat in front of you kind of day after day. Obviously, to meet that challenge that we have, we put a lot of support in place as well, and we have a wide range of interventions and programs to support children. Again, and that's not just children who are struggling to access the curriculum, where we might introduce a phonics program, for example, or an inference program, but equally for those children at the top end who very, very bright, very good readers, very good vocabulary, but we still want to put intervention in place to support them to access the curriculum at an even higher level so that they really are thriving in school. And all of that is supported by high quality teaching and learning by specialist staff. And we do a lot of work to make sure that our teachers are kind of reflecting on their practice and teaching to their strengths. So you won't get a situation where a child comes into school one day and every teacher teaches in exactly the same way, because that could become boring. It could become repetitive. So what we want to do is the teachers to teach their strength, and that's what we encourage them to do. So that's kind of strand one, and that's our core business of the school around skills and knowledge. The second strand is communication. I want every single child who leaves here to be a confident, articulate communicator, to be able to express themselves in whatever context they find themselves in, because they have a right to be heard and they also have that right to listen to other people. One of the key parts of that is vocabulary, and we do an enormous amount of work on developing vocabulary in school so that they have the complex and the ambitious vocabulary they need in order to express themselves as fully as they possibly can. So we do an enormous amount of work just through day-to-day lessons on vocabulary, but equally we have various programs that we run. So in year 7, every single child will access the accelerated reader program. Again, this works for children of all abilities. Basically, it's an online kind of assessment program where they read a book, a physical book, but then they do some activities online as well to ensure they kind of comprehend that book. And that kind of gives us a very clear indication in terms of their reading age, but also the progress they're making. So it may enable us to put some other interventions in place if we need to do that. And we also really focus within communication on oracy and getting our children to be confident speakers. You'll find as they progress into becoming teenagers, they speak less and less. Our job, which can be tough at times, is to encourage them to speak more and more and with longer sentences, so they're expressing themselves as fully as they possibly can. Our Fit for Life lessons, which are a discrete lesson that take place in school once a week for Key Stage 3. Those lessons tend to be completely oracy based, so they are just, there's very, very little, if any, written work. It's very much about talk and dialogue and communication. So that's the second strand of our curriculum. The third strand is community, which I'm particularly passionate about, because this is about connecting our students and giving them the opportunities to connect, whether that's to business, whether that's to primary schools, whether that's to charities outside in the community, as well as connecting within school as well and being our own very strong community. And that links back to the Fit for Life kind of considerate attribute, which kind of very much links into our community curriculum. Some examples of how we do that. In year 7, children will engage in the local authority civic leader award. Part of that is a volunteering element to that, as well as other kind of strands on leadership and various other kind of topics. And we develop that as we go through into year 8 and then to year 9. And the plan is in year 9, which will be that all students access the volunteering module of the Duke of Edinburgh scheme. And then we encourage as many other students to kind of access the full Duke of Edinburgh scheme as possible, because it's a really valuable thing in terms of developing skills, in terms of developing resilience and confidence. And it also is, is very impressive on a CV for when children leave. So that's an example of one of the opportunities that we do provide children outside of the curriculum. And we've got a fantastic and committed Duke of Edinburgh team, who want as many children to get involved in that as possible. As I mentioned before as well, with the community curriculum, it does link into business and careers. We're very fortunate with our careers lead in school. She's actually now a lead across North Tyneside for careers, at building networks of industry and mentors and speakers. And we've recently become part of the Boys and Girls Network, which is where people who work in industry kind of connect with some of our children in year 9 and basically mentor them throughout the year. It's a really exciting project. It's quite small scale at the minute, but it's something we'd look to increase as well. And also our work experience program is very much about not children going out into just for a week or so into industry, but actually connecting industry and bringing them into school and doing project-based work as well. So there's lots of different opportunities kind of beyond the mainstream curriculum to enable our children to kind of become fit for life, which is that ambition. Other opportunities, obviously, we're well known for the sporting opportunities. That goes without saying. 2 things that do run on a Thursday morning are the Sporting Academy and now the Performing Arts Academy, which is starting this week. The idea of both is that children arrive to school before school starts at 8:15, so they commit to that. They need to be on time. If they're not, they're removed from the programme, and they engage in either sporting activity or at the moment it's a carousel of performing arts activities before they specialise, and that runs into period 1 as well. And again, it's an opportunity that sits outside of the curriculum and does make John Spence unique, and we're looking to expand that academy programme further in the future, as and when we kind of find out from the children exactly what they want, but also kind of making sure that we can afford to run it in an effective way. The reason why we can afford to run the Performing Arts programme is because we've built a really strong relationship with the North Tyneside Music Hub. They use us as a base on several evenings for various groups that they've got. And because we do that, they then provide us with the support and the funding to get performing arts coaches in for the children on a weekly basis, which is fantastic. In addition to that, we obviously have a huge array of extracurricular clubs after school, that can be anything from science, ICT, sport, performing arts, as I've mentioned before. And all of those opportunities that we put in place outside of those mainstream lessons is to kind of design to bring a sense of belonging and that idea of collective responsibility for our students, and that builds our community and hopefully makes it even stronger. And that willingness to engage, that additionality that the children put into their education really does make a difference. And those children that do buy into those opportunities are the ones that always have the biggest smiles on their faces on results day when they leave us, because they really have got what they deserve to get. So those 3 strands of skills, knowledge, communication and community are the 3 strands that we believe will help to create an environment where students will develop the skills necessary to become fit for life. I mentioned as well just before how our Fit for Life ethos links into our rewards programme. And I think it's important for me to share, that we do celebrate success as much as we possibly can. And we do have 3 layers of those rewards now. The first layer is that kind of day-to-day stuff where it's just that praise for a child in a lesson, or maybe a teacher emails their form tutor to say they've done really well, just to give them a pat on the back. Might be a text home to you to say they've done a fantastic piece of homework, that kind of thing. The second tier is designed to make sure that every child who turns up to school every day and gets things right, so it's getting the homework in on time, arriving to school on time, lessons on time, doing their work, completing tasks. That means if they do all that, that means that they keep hold of 50 credits throughout the whole week. If they do keep hold of those 50 credits throughout the whole week, then parents receive a text at the end of that week saying, basically, in other words, your child has been pretty much perfect this week, and that might not reflect what they're doing at home, but obviously that is reflecting what they've done in school. And that's just a way of us celebrating those children who get things right every day. And the third tier is, as I mentioned before, the Fit for Life rewards tickets, where you could either get a skilled, resilient or considerate ticket. and children can either opt to kind of collect 10 together and then trade those in for some kind of reward, like a football or a pair of headphones or something like that, or they can decide to put them in the end of term draw. And if they do that, then there's some vouchers that we hand out for each year group at the end of term, just again to celebrate the achievement. On the flip side of all that, of the positives, we do have a very clear behaviour policy, which again you'll be able to find on our website alongside the rewards policy. And it's very simple, and it's actually, we've introduced it this year, and it's having a really positive impact, just because it's simple and children understand it. And basically, it's built on the premise that no child has the right to harm the education or welfare of others. I don't think anything more needs to be said about that. It's a very simple principle that underpins what we do. And generally speaking, day to day, over the last 3 years since I've been here, that is, children do behave in a way that is wholly appropriate. Obviously, though, we're a secondary school, sometimes children, they're teenagers, they do get things wrong. And that's why we've got the systems in place in order to support them when they get it wrong. So hopefully they don't get it wrong again in the future. So I think that curriculum that I've just talked you through there is kind of what makes us unique. It makes up our identity. But alongside that, it's obviously the people in the school as well. So what I'm going to attempt to do now is share a short film with you where you'll get to meet the curriculum leaders for all the different subjects. So hopefully it doesn't kind of get too blurry, and we can watch it all. As I say, if there is a problem with it, it will be downloaded onto the website earlier, where you can just have a direct link into YouTube. So I'll share that now, and we'll come back in about 4 minutes or so.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Winder. I'm in charge of transition here at John Spence. Welcome to our virtual open evening. Come on in, take a look around, explore our brilliant building and our fantastic subjects.
Hello, I'm Miss Armstrong and welcome to Technology. This is where you get to use your creativity. It's where imagination has a bit of fun. It's whether if you want to be the next Vivienne Westwood, the next Gordon Ramsay, we give you the opportunity to do that. It's exciting, it's stimulating, you get to be independently work and produce some fantastic practical objects.
Hi, I'm Miss Wilkinson and I am the curriculum leader for ICT, Computing and Business Studies. I love my subject because it's always changing. My subject has something for everyone. It could be creative, it could be logical, or it could be collaborative.
Welcome to the Maths department. The best bit about maths is that it applies to everything in real life. We look forward to meeting you in September.
The best thing about English? The creativity, I think. Making and exploring different worlds, learning how to exist in our world. That's what English does for us. After all, somebody once said that reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and yeah, I agree with that. Change is legitimate and inevitable for our language. It's a mighty river, it rolls on, it picks up things, it discards things, but ultimately it ends up as a new and rich thing that we can all enjoy. So that's what I think it's all about.
Science is simply a word used to describe a method of organising our curiosity. So science is not about giving the right answer, it's about asking the right questions. What are you doing?
Art makes children powerful. Welcome to Art at John Spence. The absolute best part about studying art is that it's creative, it's innovative, it's energetic, it's different. And actually, the really best part is that you can't ever be wrong, because nothing is ever wrong in art. Just have fun, experiment, play, use colour, and love it.
Drama is the art of becoming. Welcome to the drama department. What I love about my subject is how creative and bold and expressive students can be.
Welcome to music. What we love about our subject is sharing with you our passion and enthusiasm, which will hopefully encourage you to make music.
One language sets you on a corridor for life. 2 languages opens every door along the way. There are 7,000 different languages spoken across the world. There are 300 languages, different languages spoken in London alone. Only 5% of the population in the whole world speaks English. English is not enough. 23 languages, of which French and Spanish are 2 of them. Learn a language, it's fun.
What is knowledge worth if we know nothing about the world that sustains us?
Nothing about our natural systems and climate.
Nothing about other countries or cultures.
St. Terry Pratchett said of history, it is important that we know where we come from, because if you don't know where you come from, then you don't know where you are.
And if you don't know where you are, then you don't know where you're going.
And if you don't know where you're going, then you're probably going wrong.
At John Spence, we've got amazing facilities. Come on, let's go and have a look. We don't just pride ourselves on the facilities, we pride ourselves on the opportunities that we've got for our young people. We offer lots and lots of different activities for you to get involved in, both in school and out of school.
We'd love to meet you in person, so if you'd like a face-to-face visit, please visit our website and follow the link.
So hopefully that worked. Leanne said it did work on her computer, so hopefully it did work on all yours as well. So it will be on the website if it didn't quite run properly. So that's some of the people that belong here, who teach here, the curriculum leaders, and they are, I think you can tell, passionate about their subjects. They're professional on a daily basis. They're caring. All children are taught by specialist teachers for all their subjects, so you don't get a situation where perhaps a maths lesson is being taught by a geography teacher or vice versa. And the commitment of the staff here is something I've never witnessed in any other school I've worked in. From the very moment I walked through the door just over 3 years ago to today, they're absolutely determined to do the very best for the children. And what about the children, the students? I mean, we are an inclusive school. We are very much part of the community where we sit. We look out for one another. We celebrate our achievements, and the vast majority, day in, day out, they embrace everything we do. When I stand at the gate every morning, saying good morning, it's just lovely to see the children arrive. And the vast majority say good morning. Some are a little bit tired, perhaps. One of the films that will be on the website now as well is kind of basically in their own words what the students say about the school. So please do give that a watch, because that was unscripted, and that is what they think of the school. So the people are really important on top of the curriculum, but also the support. And I mentioned that in terms of academic support, but we're also really well known for our pastoral support. Every child in school has their own form tutor who stays with them for the 5 years, as well as a head of year, again, who stays with them for the 5 years. But we also have additional support staff, including learning mentors, who are there for children for a whole host of reasons. It can be kind of organisational, it can be social, it can be emotional. There's a whole host of reasons why a child at some point during the 5 years they're with us need that additional bit of support. And part of our commitment to that level of support is reflected in the fact that just under a year ago, we opened the Hub, which is basically a student support centre, where we have 5 breakout rooms and a group space as well, where the learning mentors are based. But equally, if we have any external agencies coming into school, so it might be a counsellor, for example, there's a space for them to work with the children, because prior to that, they were pretty much kind of having meetings in cupboards, for want of a better word. But our investment in that, I think, has been really positive, and it's a really positive resource for the school. Equally, any of you that have children who have additional needs, we're a very inclusive school and have many children with additional needs in the school, and they're fully integrated into the curriculum on a daily basis. If you do have any further questions about that, please do give the school a ring and ask to speak to Senko, and we can give you details on that. The third thing, I think, which kind of makes us unique is the strength of our communication. It's really important to me that me and every single member of staff here at John Spence is we're open and honest. Sometimes we will make a mistake and we'll admit that mistake, but we'll also communicate to you very clearly what our expectations are, and that might be around behaviour, whether that's on the way to school or in school, might be around uniform, feeling safe, whatever it is, we'll communicate those expectations. But that communication can only work if it's a two-way communication, if it's a dialogue between home and school. And year on year, we know that where we have that really good relationship with parents and the child, those children, regardless of what's happening in their life, they achieve success in many different ways. So for me, the result of that ambition that I have about students being fit for life and our commitment through our curriculum, combined with the staff, the support we offer, means that our community is really brimming with self-esteem, its pride and identity. It is a place where children feel safe. It's a place where children feel happy. And it's a place where all children want to learn and succeed. And for me, as head teacher here, that makes me feel exceptionally proud. I love coming to work every day to see the children, to see the staff, and to see what amazing things that they do. So at this point, I'm just going to pause and just check in with Leanne to see if there are any questions.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
But I will check the chat as well, just in case they've gone in there.
Okay. Thank you. I think there's have been issues of people getting in. I've had a message from somebody where the people are struggling to get in. So hopefully they'll be able to watch this when we get it onto the website either later this evening, tomorrow. So if you do hear of any kind of parents who have struggled to access the event tonight, please let them know that all that information will be on the website, and we will kind of share that with primary schools and everything else, just to make sure everybody's kind of got an opportunity to hear what we've said. So in terms of next steps, obviously there's everything on the website, which I've mentioned a number of times. The admissions process you'll be well aware of. It's well underway. You have a deadline looming in October when your forms need to be in with these local authority admissions team. We don't receive any information until they've kind of collated all of the admissions for all the different local authority schools, and then if we have more applications than spaces, then it goes into an appeals process. I would say that for the last 3 years we've had substantially more applications than we've had places. We've got 177 places in the year group. We cannot extend beyond that, because then that does start to impact on the quality of education that we can provide. So really important message there is, please don't be late with your application, because if you are late for any reason, then that means you are in effect at the bottom of the list in the first kind of sift through. So please do get your applications in on time. As I said all the way through as well, please do contact the school if you'd like a prospectus, or if you'd like to arrange the visits that I've mentioned. You literally, for a visit, you go onto the school website, there's a link on there, and you can just book the session that you want, and then we'll look forward to welcoming you in. So please do go and have a look at the website now, have a look at the films, have a big route around. If you've got any questions, please let us know. I hope you enjoy what you see. I hope you've enjoyed just this brief kind of introduction to John Spence tonight. If you do choose to send your child here, I look forward to welcoming them in September 2022. Thanks very much.